At this point in time, every team in the NFL has played at least 8 games. So we're halfway through the season. There you go. So it's time to talk about the mid-season award winners. Isn't that exciting? Yes, yes, yes. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Dive right in like it's a black pussy. Offensive Rookie of the Year. There aren't a ton of real standouts this year. I still got to stick with the same pick I had at the quarter point of the season, Saquon Barkley. He's on a crappy 1-7 Giants team, 519 rushing yards, 4.7 yards per carry, and 5 touchdowns. So on the ground, he's been good, not great, but he's been good and busted some big plays. His real impact comes as a receiver because Eli sucks and he can only hit the checkdowns nowadays. 58 receptions, 497 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So you're looking at Saquon through 8 games, over 1,000 all-purpose yards, and 7 touchdowns. You know, you can argue whether or not the Giants should have taken Saquon instead of quarterback number 2. You can argue about whether or not there's truly enough value there to take a running back number 2 overall. But the one thing you can be assured of is halfway through his rookie season, Saquon Barkley most certainly is not a bust. And Saquon Barkley looks like a star in the NFL for a long time to come. You can do a lot worse with a 2nd overall pick. Believe that. Defensive Rookie of the Year. There are a few notable choices here, but for now I will change a little bit and go to Darius Leonard of the Colts. In 7 games, he has 88 tackles, 4 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. The 2nd-round pick from South Carolina State has been a force in the middle of that Colts defense. He's been a playmaker. He's been doing all types of great stuff. And it'll be great to see what he does in the middle of that defense the second half of the season. Guys like Denzel Ward could definitely have a place at this table, but for now, I will defer to Darius Leonard. Offensive Player of the Year, I got to go with Todd Gurley of the Rams. 868 rushing yards, 4.8 yards a carry with 12 touchdowns, another 37 catches for 362 yards and 4 touchdowns. So you look at him through 9 games, he has 16 touchdowns. It's not crazy to think he would have an outside chance of getting close to LaDainian Tomlinson's single-season touchdown record. But in general, though, 1,200 all-purpose yards, close to it, 16 touchdowns. Rams are 8-1. Yeah, Todd Gurley's the Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year, he's missed a couple of games, so it's not Khalil Mack to me right now. I could go with J.J. Watt with the Texans being 6-3, but I would go to good old reliable Aaron Donald, 10 sacks. Now, granted, you could say the Rams' defense isn't great, and they most certainly are not. And you say, well, it's one thing to put up great numbers defensively if your defense isn't very good. But Aaron Donald is just a tour de force. Aaron Donald is a fucking beast. He's a monster. He is a monster. And 10 sacks as an interior lineman, just freaky. Like, Aaron Donald is so good that J.J. Watt has 9 sacks in 9 games. And people refer to Aaron Donald as the best interior lineman in football. That's nuts. That's how good Aaron Donald is. Comeback Player of the Year, still to me, has to be Andrew Luck of the Indianapolis Colts. There were questions about whether or not he could ever really be that guy again, if he could ever play up again to that standard of being the 1st overall pick in the 2012 draft. And he has. He's been really, really good. He's made every start. He's made some big plays. He's been a weapon for a Colts team that isn't quite as good as they had been in the early part of Luck's career. But they've done a better job of protecting him, and as a result, that means he's healthy, he's upright, and he's able to make plays in the passing game. So it's good to see a guy like this with so much talent, so much potential, a guy that was viewed as a generational type of quarterback, be able to come back, overcome what he has overcome, and be that type of dude once again. Coach of the Year, you got all types of candidates right now. You know, at the quarter point of the season, I said Mike Vrabel, and you could see how quickly these things can change in the course of a few weeks. But I will, for now, defer to Andy Reid of the Kansas City Chiefs. His Chiefs have the best record in the AFC. You just think about that. Their one loss this year was by 3 points on the road to the Patriots. It's not bad. You had to replace Alex Smith. You did so with a better quarterback in Patrick Mahomes after trading away Alex Smith. Got all those weapons on offense. This offense is rolling. The defense stinks, and it doesn't matter. The Chiefs are 8-1. Andy Reid, so often disrespected because it is very easy to focus on the negatives and overlook the vast amount of positives, and that's why someday he should be a Hall of Fame coach. And then we get to MVP, and there probably will be quite a bit of debate and discussion about this one, maybe in the comment section, maybe not. I don't know. I could be totally misreading it. But perhaps this is a career achievement award as much as anything else. Perhaps. Because from a passing yardage standpoint, it most certainly is not his best season. But when you look at Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints, he's completing over 76% of his passes. 18 touchdown passes to 1 interception. The last 2 weeks, his team has beaten the Minnesota Vikings and the Los Angeles Rams. The Saints are 7-1. As it sits right now, they hold the tiebreaker over the Rams. They would be the #1 seed in the NFC playoffs. Drew Brees is a guy that far too often gets swept under the rug, even though everybody acknowledges and admits he's an elite quarterback. He's an all-time great quarterback. And frankly, if you look at the numbers and career trajectories and so forth, what really is that much different between Peyton Manning and Drew Brees? You could argue that Peyton Manning had better talent around him for longer periods of his career, and that is absolutely true. To see what Drew Brees has done throughout his career is remarkable. To see what Drew Brees is doing now, even in a season where you see how many guys can put up great passing seasons, this guy is still a cut above most of the rest. Completing over 76% of his passes, 18 touchdowns, 1 interception. So he's making all the key throws, he's making great decisions, and leading his team to the best record in the NFC. I'm sorry, you could talk about other guys. You could throw Todd Gurley in there, certainly. You've got other guys you can throw in the mix. Tom Brady always goes into the mix. Look at where the Patriots are. But right now, for me, halfway through the season, yeah, career achievement award, whatever you want to say it. But damn it, Drew Brees is playing at an MVP level, and his team is responding. So I will defer to him at this time. So those are my picks for the midseason NFL awards. Every team's played 8 games. We're halfway through, people, halfway through. So let me know who your picks would be right now in the comment section below. I'm out of here.